but the enigma of silence. It whispers louder than the fiercest storm, and today we delve into that very quietude. The silent signs an avoidant is falling apart after no contact. Now, imagine a symphony where the violins pause and the absence of sound tells you more than any crescendo ever could. It's in this stillness that we find the heart of our tale, a journey into the labyrinth of human connections, avoidance, and the fragile dance of attachment. Picture, if you will, a lone ship adrift on a vast ocean with no land in sight. This ship, my dear friends, represents an avoidant individual. The ocean, vast and unyielding, is the realm of emotions they navigate, and the land they cannot see. That's the connection they both yearn for and fear. Avoidants are masters of self-reliance, or so they tell themselves. They wear independence like armor, shielding them from the vulnerabilities of intimate relationships. However, when the seas grow turbulent and the winds of no contact blow fierce, even the sturdiest ship can falter. Let us travel back, perhaps, to a time when a young Edward first felt the tug of avoidant tendencies. A boy of boundless curiosity, he found solace in solitude, preferring the company of books over people. His parents, though loving, were often distant, and so he learned early on that emotions were best kept at bay. He grew into a man who valued logic and reason above all else, a fortress built brick by meticulous brick. Relationships to Edward were like delicate porcelain, beautiful yet perilously fragile. So he mastered the art of detachment. But, as they say, life has a way of challenging our defenses. Enter Claire, a woman with a smile like sunrise, whose warmth could thaw even the coldest of hearts. Edward, despite himself, found his carefully constructed walls begin to crumble under the gentle pressure of her affection. Yet, true to his avoidant nature, he feared the vulnerability she represented, and so he distanced himself, choosing the familiar safety of isolation. Claire, feeling the growing chasm, decided to implement no contact. No contact. It's a strategy often employed in relationships, a way to give space, to heal, or perhaps to prompt a re-evaluation. For an avoidant, it's akin to being cast adrift, unmoored from the anchor of connection. Here, the silent signs begin to manifest, subtle yet profound. Edward, in the absence of Claire's presence, felt a disquieting void. The world, once vibrant, seemed to lose its color. The books that once offered refuge now lay unopened, as if the words themselves had lost their allure. In this solitude, Edward encountered the first sign, an insidious overthinking. The mind of an avoidant, unchallenged by external dialogue, turns inward with an intensity that borders on obsession. Every interaction, every word and gesture with Claire was dissected, analyzed, replayed in an endless loop. What had he missed? Where had it all gone wrong? The once firm belief in his self-sufficiency began to waver, as doubt crept in like a thief in the night. Next, we observe a subtle shift in behavior, a restlessness that betrays the facade of calm. Edward found himself pacing the creaking floorboards of his home, drawn to the places Claire had once occupied. He would linger at the window, watching the world go by, hoping for a glimpse of her auburn hair in the crowd. This longing, though denied, was undeniable, a testament to the bonds he pretended did not exist. Perhaps most telling of all was the emotional floodgate that threatened to burst. For avoidance, emotions are carefully bottled, stored away for fear of being overwhelmed. But in the silence of no contact, these emotions swell, rising like a tide that cannot be held back. Edward found himself irrationally angry at the smallest of slights, tearful at the melancholic notes of a song on the radio. It was as if his heart, long silenced, had found its voice and demanded to be heard. And so we come to the unexpected turn, where the avoidance journey takes a pivotal twist. In the depths of his solitude, Edward stumbled upon an old letter tucked away in the pages of a forgotten book. A letter from Claire, written in the early days of their acquaintance. Her words, though faded, spoke of hope and promise, of trust and understanding. It was a mirror held up to his soul, reflecting the warmth he had rejected out of fear. This, my dear listeners, is where the climactic moment unfolds. In that quiet revelation, Edward saw the futility of his avoidance, the emptiness of a life lived behind walls. It was as if the silent symphony reached its crescendo, urging him toward a choice, to remain adrift, or to chart a course toward reconciliation. And so, with trepidation, Edward reached for the phone, his heart pounding a symphony of its own. The call to Claire was not a grand gesture, but a simple acknowledgement of his humanity, his flaws, and his desire to connect. It was an olive branch, extended not in the hope of rekindling romance, but in the spirit of understanding and growth. In the end, the silent signs of an avoidant falling apart after no contact are not merely indicators of distress, but opportunities for transformation. They are the whispers of the heart, urging one toward authenticity, toward the courage to embrace vulnerability. For in the tapestry of human experience, it is the threads of connection that weave the most intricate and beautiful patterns. As we draw this tale to a close, remember that the journey of an avoidant is not one of isolation, but of discovery. The voyage across the ocean of emotion is fraught with challenges, but it is also rich with the promise of connection. And though the seas may be silent, the heart speaks volumes, if only we have the courage to listen.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.